You're now listening to the 1130 podcast. Enjoy the show.
Yo, what it do, everybody? It's your man Dre, aka Dre on Wheels. Y'all already know what it is. Welcome back, everyone, to the 1130 podcast. What's good, everybody doing out there? And it is a beautiful Wednesday. We back at it, you guys. You know what time it is. It's not 7:30, it's 11:30. It's time for the podcast. Good morning to everyone who's listening to me on EB Radio this morning. Thank you guys for tuning back in to the 1130 podcast, and for everyone who's watching on YouTube. And if you're new to the 1130 podcast, make sure you subscribe. Yeah, subscribe on YouTube, like it, leave a comment, and do all that great stuff. And don't forget to follow the 1130 podcast on all social media platforms. But you guys, like I said, man, I'm back at it. It's Wednesday. Yo, and it's February, man. So here on the podcast for the rest of the month, I'm going to be bringing black entrepreneurs on, man. Talk about their business, their podcast, whatever it is, man. We just going to shine some light on, black excellence, as it's Black History Month this month. So we're going to start it off this week with the first guest to celebrating Black excellence, my guy, Dr. Solomon Tention. Yes, he's going to be joining me here on the 1130 podcast. Yes, Dr. Solomon Tention. He's an author, he's a professor, and he's a CEO. Yes, we're going to get into all of that, his books and everything, this week here on the 1130 podcast. But before we do, shout out my guest who was on last week, Chris. Thank you, my guy. Has been always grateful enough to come here on the podcast. Speaking of the podcast, let's get into it this week. Dr. Solomon, how's it going?
Going good, bro. Thank you so much for having me on your podcast, bro. Excited for this dope conversation.
No problem. I appreciate you taking the invite. Some months ago, I was definitely, especially before the holidays, reaching out to a lot of people, especially in a Black podcasting group, to get them on the podcast, to share light on everything they got going on, because it's just not about myself. It's always about my guests. That's what I try to make it about, man. So It's all about you here today. And how's life treating you?
Man, life is good, man. Here in Dallas, we just get through a little winter storm, but life is good. Grateful to be here, and glad to be on the podcast to kick off a good week, bro.
Yeah. You're right, man. It's been a little chilly up here in DC though, so it's been snowing all over the East Coast, man. So I hope you stay warm wherever you at, man. For real, where you from?
I am from Georgia, but I currently live in Dallas, Texas.
Okay. You're South.
Hey, man. Hey, absolutely, bro.
Okay. That's what's up, man. I appreciate it once again, Dr. Solomon, man, for you joining me here on the podcast. Like I said, this is February. Shine a light on Black excellence with yourself and everything you got going on. But just before we indulge into everything for my listeners and viewers, joining me, mind telling everyone about yourself.
Well, yeah, again, Solomon Tention, and so from Georgia, and career educator. But about 3 years ago, I started this whole entrepreneurship kick, and so have always had a passion for helping individuals grow in the education space, and grew up in challenging circumstances of my own, and so education was an outlet for me. It's what's been responsible for me being the man I am today. So I thought that, it would be good to kind of dip into the entrepreneurial space to help others. And so just passionate about this work. Started off as a teacher. So I've been in education for about 11 years now. So started off as a teacher, as a coach, football and track, and did all that. And then have been doing this for 11 years. So now I work in the college space, as an administrator, but I'm also a professor part-time, and I got my whole entrepreneurship gig as well, man. So passionate about people, passionate about helping people, love hip hop. So I definitely love what you got going on with your brand too, man. So just real happy to be here.
Hey man, that's really dope, man. Really dope. I appreciate that. Appreciate the kind words. You say you've been in the education field for over 10 years, right?
Yeah.
How did you get into that? Did you always, wanted to be a teacher or so?
Nah, man, I wanted to be an attorney. That was my plan.
Okay.
I watched a lot of Law and Order. You know
Okay.
what I'm saying?
Okay.
And you know what I'm saying, I always saw myself as one of those dudes suited up, but you know, life has a way of shifting you where you're supposed to be, man. And I hadn't turned back since. So yeah, I had every intention to go to law school, but you know, during the process, just something said, you know, this shouldn't be the career that you should be going to. And I made a shift, and I've been happy ever since. And even as I've grown, you know what I'm saying, life come full circles. I wouldn't have been the good attorney as I thought I would have. And I'm in the right space, man. So it's been dope.
Okay. Okay. Who's your favorite character on Law and Order?
Man, I don't really have a character. I just like the whole vibe. I just like, you know, in my
Yeah.
mind when I was younger, they were smart, they had power, you know, they were successful. You know what I'm saying? So, but I think all of them are pretty dope, and I know they got some new installments out too. I haven't been keeping up, so
Yeah, most definitely,
yeah,
most definitely. I'm a big fan of stuff like that, man. I'm a real mystery seeker,
yeah,
thriller type of guy. So I
yeah,
dig it, man. I really dig it. But
yeah,
also, you're the CEO of your own business, Sim
yeah,
Companies. I'll tell
yeah.
my listeners and viewers about your awesome business and how you got it started and everything.
Yeah, man. So Sim Companies First is a consulting firm. You know, Sim EDU Consulting falls under that. And so we provide consulting on projects that impact the urban community from in the education space, whether that be training, virtual training, coaching, curriculum development, all that gig. And so we take on contracts that deal with that. But then also under that brand, we've got the Solid Tention podcast. We've got the King and Me book series, which I know we'll get to, and we've got some other branches of that that we're launching as well, man. So it's been labor of love. You know, there's the Dr. Tention Speak. So I typically go out to do speaking to different colleges, universities, and other organizations. So that brand is under that, man. So we're young. It's just been 3 years, but it's been good to kind of see it grow and the different platforms that we've been able to kind of maximize under the brand.
Hey, that's awesome, man. That's really really awesome. Love hearing black stories, man, from coming
Yeah,
from the bottom and having your own business and so, man. What type of advice do you have for young up and coming black entrepreneurs, who
yeah,
are having a rough upbringing and wanted to start their own business at some point in their career, with maybe the pandemic is putting that on a hold or not, or just other stuff, life
yeah,
happens though. But yeah, what type of advice you have for young entrepreneurs, who want to
yeah.
start their business also.
Yeah, I'd say, you know what, just do it, man. Like I truly believe, you know, I'm a spiritual person, and I believe that everybody was put on this earth with a specific gift and a talent to
Yes, sir.
contribute in a
Yes, sir.
certain way. And
hmm
so, like, it doesn't matter where you come from, it doesn't matter the challenge that you had. I know life happens to all of us, but we
hmm
gotta, but just don't let that stop you. Just do it. You know what I'm saying? Do small steps. Don't worry about funding. Do what you can and keep building and the rest will come to you. You know, yes, you know, there's a benefit of doing the entrepreneurship school and training and all that, but nowadays you can find that information for free until you can afford and upscale with coaching and things like that. Because I know a lot of entrepreneurs feel like, well, you know, I didn't go to school for it. I didn't go to school for it either, and I'm still
hmm
learning. That's a part of the process. But that'd be my biggest advice, man. Don't allow where you've been to stop you from where you want to go, and just start doing it. Do it if you got to do it by yourself. If you got to do it with small funding, a little bit of knowledge, just start doing what you feel is in your entrepreneurship uh, journey, and then just keep building. You know, and the last thing I'll say is, you know, try to be an answer to somebody's problem. I think that's
hmm
a good piece. If you could be an answer to somebody's problem, then that's the space for you in entrepreneurship.
Yeah, you're right about that because a lot of people dealing with so many problems right now, and but how did you handle doing dealing with everything, doing your upbringing into success to where you at right now with Sims Company?
I mean, you know, it was hard. You know what I'm saying? I didn't grow up with a mom or dad, a consistent presence in my life. So that whole story of, you know, moving around from place to place and had pockets of stability, but pockets of not having, you know, stability, and it definitely impacted me, you know, as I grew. And so for me, it's all about creating my own table. And it's all about building legacy. It's all about saying, maybe I didn't come from the best circumstances, but looking at where I am now and looking at what entrepreneurship provides, this is an opportunity to really continuously rewrite that story, man, and build legacy. And also for me to be able to continuously get out there on podcasts like this, whether it be speaking, coaching, mentoring, my own podcast, and share different stories of my story and other people's stories to motivate others. I think entrepreneurship provides me with that platform, man. So that's kind of that's kind of how my upbringing, just keeping that in mind, has helped continuously fuel this entrepreneurship journey, legacy, rebuilding legacy, changing narratives, giving people opportunities. Those things are what stays at the forefront for me.
Hey, that's what's up. I dig that. I really do, man. I say it every week. I say it to everyone. Everyone got a story. I
Yeah,
just, if I'm riding with someone and if I got, some merch on, everyone always asks about my podcast and what it's about and everything like that. And I was just, hey, man, I always have the door wide open, for
yeah,
everybody to come on to tell their story, whether it's
yeah.
the getting off your chest, whether it's dealing with mental health or anything. So that's definitely dope. I appreciate you for that, my guy, for real. What keeps you inspired?
Uh, it's just, I don't even know, man. Just the drive of knowing that. Well, first of all, with my podcast and books and things like that, hearing people talk about how it's impacted them. That's one thing, because it's like, man, this was a journey to get here. But if it's helping somebody, people writing in, leaving reviews, that's what makes it worth it. And right, if you can help one person, you've done something impactful. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But what continues is, I know that there's much more that we can do. There's much more people that need that support, because I once needed support in different areas. And in a lot of areas, I still do need support. So again, going back to what I said earlier, being the answer to somebody's problem, that's what keeps me going, and the reach and the impact, and how we can change minds and hearts and communities, really. So, and it gets hard sometimes. I don't feel like doing content. I don't feel like doing business. I don't feel like looking at contracts. But I know that there's a greater purpose behind it as well. You know what I'm saying? So that's what keeps me going.
Yeah, man. Most definitely. It's a greater purpose throughout all of this, man. This life
Yeah,
is we here, man, to just think
yeah,
this is just something small, man. We all
yeah,
put here for a reason.
yeah,
We are here, me and you, Dr.
yeah,
Solomon, here to
yeah,
connect, for a reason. So it ain't just
yeah,
nothing small. So like you said, you're a spiritual person. I'm the same way, man. I'm real big, on believing and having faith and stuff like that. And
yeah,
everything happens for a reason, man. You live by a quote, man, that I thought it was really dope. You said
yeah,
success cannot be climbed with your hands in your pocket. You tell my
yeah.
listeners about that, because I thought that was really dope.
Yeah, man, that's a quote that got me through a lot. And essentially, you think about a ladder, right? A ladder. The first time you pull out your ladder, you got a goal of going up, right? So for me, like when I create success, when I looked at that quote, success and ladder, I thought about, at the end of the day, right? Success is an upward journey. But then you get your hands in your pocket, meaning, but in order to get up that ladder, you got to do some work to get up the ladder, right? So at the end of the day, that always encouraged me to let me know that, hey, at the end of the day, as long as I go to work, success is evident around the corner. You know what I'm saying? If you working, there ain't no way you're gonna. I mean, yes, you might have some bumps in the road, you might have some pauses, you might have some setbacks, but as long as you keep working, that ladder of success, you're gonna be able to experience that, man. And so that in summary, just do the work, man. Get your hands out your pocket and start climbing. And at
Mm-hmm.
the end of the day, you might not move at the same pace as somebody else. Though, you know what I'm saying? It might not look like somebody else, but just start doing the work, and the success will come. And so that's kind of what I live by. And it's been a quote that I'm gonna still keep carrying with me, man. Because especially as men, we gotta understand that it's our responsibility to do the work, man. As long as we
Mm-hmm.
work, success is gonna come.
You're right about that. You are so right about that. And I put in the work, man. And I always say
Yeah,
to myself, if you give up, only two things can happen. If you give up,
yeah,
you just ain't nothing gonna happen. But at
yeah,
least if you keep going, something is
yeah,
gonna, come out on the other end of the tunnel.
yeah,
So I always say,
absolutely.
man, it's always about the mindset and about
Yeah,
just, keep going. And you got certain people out here who be like, yo, like you said, life is tough for different people, and everybody got their problems, and
yeah,
to certain people out there. We need certain people out there to be there for other people that's going through their problems, such as, yourself, or well as,
Yeah.
coming here on the podcast. What do you have? What type of advice do you have for those who, maybe are just going through it and just thinking about giving up because of, just life?
I think at the end of the day, I would tell those individuals to regardless if they've ever heard somebody say it before or not, you got purpose, right? You may not know what it is right now due to other circumstances in your life, but you were put here for a reason. And there's something that you are called or that you should be doing to contribute. There's a group of people that need to hear from you. There's a community, there's a circle of friends. So I think that's the main thing. Like, don't give up because you have value, you have meaning. And I know sometimes that's hard to say, depending upon where you are mentally, what you might be struggling with. But I think that's the first piece of the conversation, to know that you have value, you have meaning, you are loved and appreciated and wanted. And sometimes I think that we need to hear that. And then once we hear that, then we can start to figure out, okay, what that might look like, man. But it's you're gonna have challenges. You're gonna have situations, setbacks. That's a part of the journey, but it doesn't take away from your value. I think it
Hmm.
starts with people understanding their value, and I think that we can handle the rest. It becomes difficult to where when I'm dealing with setbacks, but I also don't understand my value, right? That self esteem isn't there for whatever reason. So that's what I would tell people who thinking about giving up. Just keep going and know that you have value, you have purpose, and there is something that you've been put on this world to do.
Hey man, you're right about that. A lot of people need to, hear that they got, they got a purpose here in life, and then,
Yeah,
some people just don't realize that. It took me a long time, to realize, my
yeah,
purpose in life, because I was just, like I always said, just felt stuck. I just didn't feel
yeah,
I wasn't going anywhere, and I just had to take a, step back, and just look at myself in the mirror and just realize what
yeah,
I'm doing wrong and what I need to do right, and that I
yeah,
got a purpose, and that I belong
yeah,
here. So I hope everybody out there hear this, man, and you got a purpose. When
yeah,
we all do.
yeah,
But you guys, man, we're gonna move on here on the 11:30 podcast to some trending topics. We got a lot to get into, but
yeah,
right now, Joe Rogan. He's the podcaster of podcasters right now. I want to hear your thoughts, Dr. Solomon, on right now with Joe Rogan coming into the forefront over obviously the controversial uh, coronavirus topics, and not only that, with a video swirling 12 years, 13, whatever years later, him saying the N word or whatnot. Do you feel like Joe Rogan should be canceled, or he just speaking his mind?
Well, I'm definitely not a fan of the cancel culture. I will say
Yeah.
that, but I do think that at the end of the day, we have to respect culture, and there are certain words and phrases that just aren't appropriate. It
Hmm.
That's where I stand on it. That aren't appropriate for other races to say, whether he was joking or whatever, however long ago. Like that language, isn't appropriate. Just as if there's certain words I should be saying within the Jewish community to the Jewish community. There's certain words I should be saying about the Muslim community, or I mean, we can go down the line, right? But so that's my position on it. You know what I'm saying? I heard that he's tried to apologize and try to walk some things back, but in the day, that just can't be acceptable. You know what I'm saying? So whatever society does with that, that's on them. I definitely don't want to cancel the brother, but I think that he needs to be called out. There needs to be some consequences, and move on from there. You know what I'm saying? Because none of us are perfect, but the first statement is that language is just unacceptable in any way to be used, what I'm saying, outside of our culture. And of course, there's debates about how we use it as well, but I think that's the first position I have on it.
Yeah, definitely. I'm right along with you. First and foremost, really really unacceptable, and not to be tolerated. Obviously, he said
Hmm.
apologies or whatever, but that's to be dealt with to whoever deals with him.
Right.
Whether that's Spotify, I don't know. But far as him coming out with the coronavirus, look, I don't watch his podcast, not a lot
Yeah.
enough or a
Me
lot to know
neither.
what
Me neither.
his opinions on that. But I think everyone has has boundaries and should be respected.
Yeah.
and the fact that something that he said that he shouldn't have said it, whether
Yeah.
he was talking freely or not, 15 years ago. Now that's to be said. I'm pretty sure it was somebody who's a hater of his podcast pulled something up like that. Who knows? I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't know.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's some WTF stuff like that. But you guys, man, speaking of WTF, you guys, man, we're gonna move on here on the podcast. You guys, man, and it's time. It's time, you guys, for the WTF moment of the week, you guys, man. All right. WTF moment of the week. Each and every week, Dr. Solomon, I always share my WTF moment, whether it's something crazy you may seen, heard, or read, or whatever the
Yeah.
case may be. You have a WTF moment you would like to share with my listeners and viewers?
I like this segment. Nah,
No
I
problem.
don't though, man. I don't, man. I didn't come prepared for this, but I like it though.
Okay, cool. Well, since you don't have a WTF moment, I'm gonna pick one for you, and I'm gonna also share mine for you.
Okay,
First
okay.
WTF moment. I don't know if you've seen it. Do you fly? Do you fly on an airplane, or you
I
frequently
do, I
fly?
do, I do.
Okay, cool. Well, it was this video. I can't remember where it was at though. I think it was in the UK, where the pilot of the airplane was landing the plane, and the winds was just really
Yeah.
entirely
Some
strong.
heart-stopping moments for passengers on a British Airways flight. Arriving at London's Heathrow Airport on Monday, the pilots were battling strong winds as they were getting ready to land. Take a look at what happened as the wheels touched down.
Easy.
Whew, the plane appeared to almost topple over, and its tail appeared to make brief contact with the ground. You saw it there. The pilots aborted the landing, took off again, and they did a go-around. It safely landed.
Try to get it to land safely though.
Yeah.
I don't know
Yeah.
if I could have been on that plane with everybody else trying to survive that. I don't know. So
Yeah.
WTF on that one though. But nonetheless, another WTF moment that's been swirling around. Brian Flores, I hope I'm saying his name right, former NFL coach of the
Uh-huh.
Miami Dolphins, is
Yeah.
suing the NFL and the three other teams: the Broncos, the Giants, and the Dolphins, the Miami Dolphins. He is suing all three of
Hmm.
them for racial discrimination.
Yeah.
He was supposed to be in an interview to be as the New York Giants head coach, and come to find out, someone already, had the gimmick and the job.
Incredible props to Brian Flores from the standpoint of courage. Because it takes a lot of courage to do what he's doing, and clearly he's not doing it just for himself, which he feels that he's been subjected to is similar to what a lot of black coaches have been going through for quite some time. And we all know what my position has been as it pertains to African-American coaches, particularly in the National Football League. In college football is just as, if not more egregious, at least until recently. The NFL, what I've reminded people over the last few weeks, Keyshawn, is that the Rooney Rule was instituted in 2003. When the Rooney Rule was instituted, essentially compelling you to at least interview African-American coaches and give them something close to a fair and equitable opportunity, there were 3 African-American coaches in the National Football League. We are 19 years removed from the institution and implementation of the Rooney Rule, and there is now 1 head coach. There have been about 7 or 8 openings this offseason for NFL head coaches. 5 people have been hired. None of them have been black. The New York Giants, we don't know the facts. We have to hold out. But let me say this to the New York Giants. As an organization, when it comes to black coaches, I don't believe a damn word you have to say. There's nobody more incriminating than the New York Giants. We are in the year 2022, okay? All of these years, damn near a century for crying out loud. Football has a century. Football has existed. There's one franchise that has not had one single black coach. That is the New York Giants. And we don't even want to get started. I know you had a black GM, but you have never hired a black coach. When you're talking about 53 men on a roster, practice squad, and everything like that, basically you're talking about you don't trust an African-American to be a leader of men. That's the Giants organization.
Got the text messages from Bill Belichick. Bill Belichick would have texted me the same thing if I would have been hired. Congratulations, Keyshawn. All Bill Belichick was doing was congratulating one of his former assistants, not realizing it was the wrong assistant head coach. So,
what's your thoughts on Brian Flores suing the NFL over racial discrimination, because as a black brother, as myself, it's really not a whole lot of diversity in the
Mm-hmm.
NFL as far as head
Mm-hmm.
coaching and staffing and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's majority of Caucasians and stuff like
Yeah.
that. We all
Yeah.
know. Yeah.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts on this situation?
Yeah, I'm proud of him. I'm proud of him, brother to brother, that that he said, you know what, enough is enough. You know what I'm saying? I'm proud of him for saying, at the end of the day, I know this is the big NFL, and I know there's money and all this other type of stuff, big jobs. But at the end of the day, I want to be treated fairly. I want to be treated with respect. And so man to man, I'm proud of him for doing that. And I was listening to some commentary about it. The challenge is, with the owners and it being kind of, is different than other organizations to where you can, require certain things. But these owners who make billions of dollars, it's hard. You can't force them to make certain hires, or some of the things that we have to adhere to in the workplace, because you're talking to an owner. From what I've been understanding, they don't have to play by those same rules. That's unfortunate.
Hmm.
But they're billionaire, billion-dollar owners who own a team, and so it's unfortunate that that's where we are. You know what I'm saying? That certain discriminatory practices are still happening, man. And I just hope that the NFL could do something, because at the end of the day, whether it's private or not or whatever, like, if you're not interested in the candidate, right? If you're not truly interested in that candidate, black, blue, white, yellow, I think it's appropriate to not extend that interview. If you're not truly interested, not extend that interview, not but to do certain things that way, where that there's already decisions that's been made. But that happens across a lot of different sectors as well. So I think he definitely opens up Pandora's box. But I wish him well, man. I hope that they don't blackball him from the league. I hope they still give him a fair shot, a fair opportunity to interview. Because at the end of the day, I'm a football fan, and the brother's a good coach. What he did with Miami, I mean, he deserves to have a coaching job again. So that's my thoughts on it, man. But we definitely wait to see what happens.
Yeah, definitely wait to see what happens. Once this came out, I was like, okay, yeah, he's peeling back, some skin right here that is a really hot topic and really hot debate. Also, in the NFL, it's really, like I said, majority of your players are black, but all your coaches are white. Hey. It's something to be talked about right there. It really is, though. But I hope he gets another opportunity to coach in the NFL in the coming season, in the coming next seasons, though. But you guys, man, we are having fun here on the 1130 podcast. I have my awesome guest, Dr. Solomon Tention, here joining me, chopping it up, having fun. But you guys, man, don't go nowhere. We're going to take a real quick commercial break, you guys. And when we come back, we got the hot tea. We're going to talk to Dr. Solomon about his awesome books and more. For real, you're listening and you're watching to the 1130 podcast, you guys. Don't go nowhere.
TV is killer, but the way we watch it is not. So, let's do something else.
Like what?
Like channel surf with a swipe.
What are you talking about?
Talking about watch live TV wherever.
Like a food court, sir?
Sir. Lady, but yeah.
Oh, baptisms.
Yup.
In a car?
Uh-huh. But not like that.
Like this.
Oh, family boat trip!
Are we still doing this? Yes, and record as many shows as you want.
There have to be some limits here, right?
Storage limits? Nah. Oh, hey man, throw that up on the TV. Woo!
One thing, you didn't mention the price.
Oh, yeah. $35 a month.
Get out of town.
I know. TV, actually made for us. Finally.
Finally.
Yeah, finally.
Yo, what up? This your boy Kenneth Stones, aka Coffee Weaston. This your boy D.O.E. Good Brother Bowl. And we are the Dirty Hills. You already know, man, you tuning in to 1130 podcast. Not 7:30, but 11:30.
Dude, that's my job. Not 7:30, but 11:30.
Yeah. And you have been Dirty Hills approved.
Yo, we back here on the 1130 podcast. Appreciate everyone sticking with me throughout the commercial break here on EB Radio and YouTube. Thank everyone for joining me here on the show, man. It's a beautiful show. It's been a dope show with my awesome guest, Dr. Solomon Tention. Yo, we've been chopping it up, having some fun about his entrepreneurship, being a CEO, and also we about to get into his awesome books, you guys. Yes, Dr. Solomon is also an author. Yes, Dr. Solomon, you have some amazing books out right now. Both of them that I'm really intrigued of that I got to get my hands on and read. The first one is called The Single Parent Experience. I thought this is really dope for my listeners who are single parents. And for myself, I hope I'm not a single parent, but I'm a soon-to-be parent. So, to me and my fiance, we having a boy. For everyone, who's been
Congratulations.
Thank you so much. Yes, I broke the news on social media a couple of weeks ago on the podcast that we will be having a child. So that's really awesome. But yes, Dr. Solomon, talk to my listeners about your awesome book, The Single Parent Experience, and you have an awesome book related to the young black men, The King in Me. Yes, can you tell my listeners about your book?
Yeah, so the first book about the single parents experience I co-authored with Fiona Small out of London, and so she as a single mom, she talked about her experience in the book and some of the challenges that she faced as a single mom. And so I don't have children, but her and I partnered because we had a collaboration on Clubhouse, and so I joined the project to discuss it from a psychology perspective, relative to introducing your child to new partners. We talked about the challenges of when as a single parent, when the other parent doesn't live up to the end of the deal. How do you communicate that to the child? So she just talked about in the book some of the challenges that she had with being a single parent, and then I was so honored to be able to come in with each chapter to talk about the impacts on that child from a psychology perspective, and so hopefully it's been our goal was to provide single moms with this tool to be able to navigate this journey and help single moms know that it's okay to not have all the resources. And the book serves as one of those to help, because you have that responsibility, unfortunately, to raise a whole healthy child. And we know, especially in the Black community, that our moms do the very best they can with that.
Mm-hmm.
But Fiona's vision was to give an additional resource based off her experience to help families, to help moms navigate that journey. So really dope project, man. And it's been out almost for a year now. And it's been really good to see the lives that it's been impacted.
Hey man, that's really awesome, man. For real. My mom, was a single mom. My dad, wasn't, in my life, like that. And he tried to be, every time he seen me, but nah, don't try to, ride the boat now. But nonetheless, yeah. But my mom was a single mom, and she did her damage, to raise all four of us. So that's really dope, man. There's a lot of single mothers out there, who raising, the kids, raising the children on their own, and man, they are beasts at that. They are beasts at that. And but our black brothers, man, gotta step up and be in our kids' lives, man. For real. Definitely that. And also you have another book, man, The King in Me. Also, can you tell my listeners about that dope book too?
Yeah, man, the King in Me series is all centered around helping men of color discover their purpose, kind of what we've been talking about earlier. Because at the end of the day, like I mentioned, I didn't have the best situation growing up, but I think one of the gifts that God blessed me with was at a young age to really understand my purpose and who I was. And so I thought about, during the pandemic, I did a lot of self work on myself, and I thought that it was a good time to really share my story of how I became, or how I'm becoming, the man that I am today, to hopefully inspire other men who are stuck, who are trying to figure it out, who find themselves in low places, to try to encourage them to live a life on purpose and what that looks like. But I understand that that's hard work, because at the end of the day, like I said earlier, we're all born and given an assignment in life, but sometimes, whether it be through trauma or unfortunate experiences, we get separated from who we really are. And so it's a
Mm-hmm.
process. And so the King in Me series is all about telling my story about finding purpose, forgiveness, the subconscious mind, just all different things I tried to integrate in the book as well as the ebook series to try to help fill that gap for brothers, to encourage them to take those steps to move forward, because I just believe as men, it is our responsibility to be in purpose. Because we got families we have to lead, our communities, and so, but we got to be in purpose. You know what I'm saying? So that's just something that kind of fueled the project, and it's been really good to see the outpouring so far.
Yeah, man, I really dig that. I really do. We, like you said, we were talking about that earlier.
Yeah,
As far as black brothers and stuff, definitely, trying to find their purpose, man. So, the King in Me is available right now, and also the Single Parent Experience right now on Amazon. You guys, the
yeah,
links will be below here on YouTube, you guys, and for everyone who's listening on EB Radio, head over to the 1130 Podcast YouTube channel. Click the links below, man. Get you a copy of the
yeah,
books. You were just talking about your purpose and stuff.
yeah,
What,
yeah.
what what moments led you to finding your purpose, and how was it for you before you found your purpose? And I understand it was a difficult time, or trying to
Yeah,
find.
yeah, yeah. Well, first the reason why it's always difficult as a man because uh, our fathers, uh, one of their roles is to affirm us and to help us figure out who we are, right? And so when you don't have that in your life, right, that's a gap there. And I'm sure you may be able to speak on that as well. But that's one of the primary functions of a father is to help affirm a son and to help guide him to who he's supposed to be with the affirmation from his father. So because I didn't have that, I had some mentors come along the way. Then they was even seasons of my life that I still try to do my own thing as well. You know what I'm saying? So it's always a journey because you got to heal, you got to grow, you got to figure out who you are as a man, what's your value system, what you align for, what are your gifts, what are your talents. So it's a full process, man. And also even when you figure out, okay, you know what, this is who I am as a man. This is what I believe I'm called to do in the earth. There's still a process of there's different levels of that as well.
Hmm.
And so the level that I live my purpose on now, I didn't live at that level a couple of years ago. Podcasts, books, and things like I shared that. I didn't used to tell my story because I lived a lot under false humility. I had to do a lot of self work to really get there, to understand that, like we said earlier, we're here to live a whole full life, but it's also to bless others by
Hmm.
telling our story. Being in spaces, you know what I'm saying? Being a black educator meant something, right? So just kind of having to kind of grow through that and learn through that. It has its challenges, but it also has its rewards. And I wouldn't change it by being on this side of purpose and knowing who I am as a man. I wouldn't sacrifice it for anything. You make better decisions. You make better relationships. You have better clarity on who you are and where you're going because you know what your core is as well. So that's always beneficial.
Yeah, you're right about that, man. You so right about that. I had so many mentors and older brother, who I turned to look to, and stepfathers, who kind of like try to
Yeah,
guide me there, but it's still,
yeah,
at that point
yeah,
where they
yeah.
were no longer around at that point, I still had to, figure it out on for
Correct,
myself.
correct,
You still had to
correct,
figure it out on myself and still had to
correct.
find out what I, like, podcasting, it was just it just
Yeah,
failed. It was just like brother was just like, yo man, just do it. And like I always say, I'm a big wrestling fan, so I knew that I could chat wrestling with
yeah,
anybody for days.
yeah,
Doing this was more challenging, but it was a better reception because people don't always gravitate towards wrestling, but I knew
yeah,
that I wanted to do something within my life. I try to
yeah,
dip and dab into music or whatever the case, but I just
yeah.
knew I just had to, grind it out basically. I had to grind it out
Absolutely.
and just, keep faith. Keep faith,
Yeah.
man. I dig it, man. I dig it. I really do dig it. But you guys, we're gonna move on here on the podcast. Dr. Solomon, you have any new projects coming up? Anything you got
Yeah,
cooking?
yeah, man. A couple things. So the first thing is Solomon Tention podcast has been out. We released it this past summer. We're right at about 55 episodes. We got about 3,000 listeners, and we're
Okay.
talking about We talked about entrepreneurship, leadership, the human experience, as well as the culture. So it's a podcast for millennials. So definitely want to plug that out. Check us out. Subscribe, follow. We've got a brand new season dropping on March 9th, 20 brand new episodes. So we're marching toward having 100 episodes in a year. So I'm excited about that. I'm also excited about the launch of my brand new podcast agency, helping creatives secure podcast jobs and secure speaking jobs. So excited about that launch. Of course, the King and Me book is still out. So encouraging people to thank you for agreeing to put that link in your YouTube. I appreciate that. You can always go find me at IG at Dr. Solomon Tention. We've got a brand new app that's launching this spring for millennials, help targeting mental health and employment. So just some dope things going on. And on my live, I'm always having conversations in the man cave where we're bringing on brothers to share their story. And we also have a leadership series as well on my IG page, bringing in leaders, millennial leaders, to talk about their experience. So lots of dope things happening with the brand and with the company, man. Just excited about where we're going.
Hey man, that's what's up. That's what's up, man. You got a lot of stuff going on. I wish you the best in everything, man. For real, keep
Appreciate you,
grinding
brother.
at it, my brother. For real,
Appreciate
you
it.
got a good head on your shoulders, and I know you're
Appreciate
gonna
it.
keep grinding to the success. You know, keep grinding and getting that success, man. For real, I'm
Appreciate
all
you, brother.
excited, man. As always, no problem, no
Appreciate
problem.
it.
But you guys, man, we're gonna move on here on the podcast before I let Dr. Solomon go. You know what time it is, everyone. It's time for the 11:30 podcast hot seat. Yes. All right. It's time for the 11:30 podcast hot seat. Dr. Solomon, I got 6 questions for you, and we're gonna
All
roll with
right.
it. All right. If you can go back in time to change any one thing, what would it be?
Man, that's a tough one. I wouldn't. I wouldn't change anything. Oh, or you know what? I would say if I want to have some fun with this, that I would have gave myself more track speed, so I could have got a full ride track scholarship.
Okay.
that would have been something that probably would have changed the trajectory of my life a bit. Debt free, you know what I'm saying?
Okay, cool. I dig it. I dig that one though. I also dig the other answer too, man. Hey, sometimes you just ain't gotta change nothing.
Yeah,
Everything just work
yeah,
out as the way it's supposed to work out in life, man. So
yeah.
definitely that. Okay. If you were given the chance to make your one wish come true, what would it be?
One wish is I wanna spend like a month backpacking in Europe. That would be dope. Like not having to worry about job or anything. Just take a month, a backpack full of clothes, figure out the rest, and then just go tour Europe. I would love it. That would be something I would love to do.
Okay, Europe. That sounds real fun, man. Europe. Okay. If you had 24 hours to do whatever you wanted to do to this country, what would you do?
Man, reparations. Nah. Yeah, reparations would be one of them though. For real, that'd be one thing on the item that I would do. One thing on the list. I don't know. That'd just be the first thing on my mind is reparations, and then maybe 2 or 3 more serious things, and then try to have some fun along the way.
Okay.
Like fly on the president's plane, Air Force One. Like let me just go fly to Paris or fly to Japan right quick or something.
President Tention now. Okay.
Yeah. I got 24 hours. So you know
okay, man. I dig it. Okay. How could you potentially end a conversation with a person who is so annoying?
I think just straight up like I gotta go, or it was good talking to you. You know what I'm saying? You know how we try to backpedal out of that thing. You know what I'm saying?
You try to backpedal out of it. Sometimes you just don't want to be so rude. You gotta listen to them.
Exactly.
How do I get out of this?
Yeah. I appreciate the conversation. You know what I'm saying? It's been dope. I gotta go.
Yeah. My mama making this cornbread. I think I gotta go. Go. It's real good. It's some cornbread I cannot miss.
Can't miss it, man.
Okay. All right. What 3 things did your past relationship teach you?
Oh man, that's tough. I think it's good to take your time. It's good to make sure that you're a great communicator, and it's also good to, before you enter a relationship with somebody, that you have elevated to your highest self, that you're true about, firm about who you are, where you're going, so you can pick the best partner for you to move forward. So those would be three big takeaways.
Okay, cool. I dig that. All right, burgers or tacos?
Burgers. That's
You right,
easy.
man. I knew
You
you
should have
was my
started
man.
off with that one. You should have started
I
burgers.
knew it. I knew you was my guy, man. Burgers all the way.
Yeah.
Yo, Dr. Solomon Tention, man. I appreciate you joining me this week here on the 1130 podcast. It was such a vibe and dope fun chatting with you, my guy. For real. Before you go, any shout outs, any questions, anything you would like to say?
No, man. Thank you so much for inviting me on the show. I love the format. I love what you're doing, man. Continue to do great things, and thank you, all you listeners. And make sure you if you're interested in learning more about what I have going on, please follow me again on IG at Dr. Solomon Tention. But I'm gonna continue to support you, brother. And so, just thank you for this platform. I really appreciate it.
Nah, man. Hey, I appreciate you for coming on the show, man, and sharing your black excellence, man, and everything you doing, becoming an entrepreneur, being a CEO, being an author, and a podcaster as well. Yo, you guys, man, new episodes return. The link's going to be down below. Everything will be down below. Dr. Solomon, thank you once again for joining me this
Thank
week
you.
here on
Thank
the
you.
1130 podcast.
Appreciate it, bro.
Welcome to EB Radio.
Yo, Dr. Solomon Tention, I appreciate you joining me this week here on the 1130 podcast. My guy, it was a dope time vibing with you, dope time chatting with you and everything. You was a really cool guy. I knew you was my guy when you picked burgers. Burgers over tacos, you my guy, man, for real. But for everyone who's listening on EB Radio and for those who are watching on YouTube, yes, hit the links below. The Amazon links, man, get his book, The Single Parent Experience. Also, The King and Me, they are available right now. And go check out his podcast, man. Catch up on some latest episodes before the new season drop in March. You guys, for real. Dr. Solomon Tention, follow him on Instagram. Yo, this has been an amazing episode. I'm all tongue-tied, man. I'm always excited each and every day. Man, we about to hit about 12:30 here, so about to get some lunch in, man. For real, I'm getting a little hungry here. But nonetheless, you guys, I mentioned it earlier in the podcast, and I mentioned it on my social media, on my Facebook, and like I said, here on the podcast last week and the week before. Yes, I'm going to be a dad. I'm so thrilled, so excited. Everybody, I just thank everybody, man. Like that Facebook post that I announced, yo, I was just like, man, for real. I thank everybody for that said congratulations, that said, yo, man, you're gonna be an awesome dad. I thank you, man, for real. I thank everyone, and you guys, man, for all my dads out there, yo, man, I gotta have like a round table talk dad discussion, cause man, my fiance went to the appointment last Thursday, and we found out, man, it's a boy. Yes, it's a boy, so I'm so excited. Everybody kept saying, yo, man, it's gonna be a girl, but no, it's a boy. But nonetheless, man, when I went to that appointment though, I think earlier, last week, but Tuesday, but it was actually supposed to be on Thursday. I get to the appointment, they said, oh man, you can't be here, only your fiance could be. I'm like, what? I'm the daddy though. I can't be here to support my fiance, man, for real. I'm telling you, man, they got a way of kicking the black fathers out of the children's lives, man, early on, man, for real. We're gonna have this discussion one day real soon, but that ain't gonna happen here, man. I can't wait to meet my baby boy. I'm gonna take him to all the wrestling events. I'm gonna see what football team he like though. Hopefully he don't like them damn Washington Commanders though, for real though. They had all the other names they can went with. The Washington Red Hogs, the Washington whatever they go with, they went with their Commanders though. And I ain't gonna lie though. That uniform, the black uniform, I think the black burgundy and white or something. I said, ooh, that thing fire. Ooh, that's nice right there, but hopefully they command something next season for real. Hopefully they command some shit next season, because every year they losing. They are losing, man, for real. But yo, the Washington Commanders though. Everybody in DC was waiting for that, man. They come out with the Commanders, though. But nonetheless, man, it's been an awesome show. We were talking about football earlier in the show. Brian Flores, former NFL head coach, suing the NFL for racial discrimination, man, that is a hot topic right there because I feel as though I don't even know these guys' names though, but it was the guy, NFL legend, Hall of Fame quarterback who played for, actually coached for the Tennessee Titans. No, excuse me, he coached for the Indianapolis Colts. Dungy, I think. I hope I'm getting his name right. Probably saying it wrong. Hope not. The coach he coaches the Pittsburgh Steelers. And obviously, Brian Flores, it's not that many black head coaches, man. For real. And hearing the whole story, with Brian Flores getting the call from, Bill Belichick and Bill Belichick congratulating him and et cetera, et cetera. And he was like, hold on, wait a minute. Are you really congratulating me or you think it was somebody else? And, just the whole story behind it, man. And, of course, certain people coming out saying, yo, man, that's false because, like, look at this YouTube right here. I ain't about to get too deep though, but everybody, we know the story between NFL and racial discrimination, man. For real, it's up there with the WWE. Trust me, it's up there with the WWE, man. Yo, enough of that, man. Enough of me yamming it on. Like I said, man, I'm about to get some lunch. Hope everybody brunching on or eating on or having a wonderful afternoon and everything. Then I thank everyone for tuning in to the 11:30 podcast this week, man. Yes. For real, I was supposed to have a new mic, and the mic didn't work. I brought an adapter to the computer, and it didn't work. So I was just like, all right, man, we got to figure something else out. Got to figure something else. I'm on a journey to find a new mic. So anybody out there, holler at me so I can get a new mic. Yo, man, it's Wednesday. I hope you guys stay safe, stay blessed, man, for real. And enjoy the rest of your week. I'll see you guys this Friday on the 11:30 podcast, Talk Pro Wrestling. But before I go, you know what time it is, man. Don't forget to follow the 11:30 podcast on all social media platforms. Follow the 11:30 podcast on Twitter at the 11:30 podcast. Like the 11:30 podcast on Facebook. Subscribe to the 11:30 podcast here on YouTube. Like it, leave a comment, and do all that great stuff. Tell a friend about the 11:30 podcast. And also, you guys, the 11:30 podcast, Talk Pro Wrestling, each and every Friday, where I interview some of your favorite independent referees, ring announcers, you name it. Or we just chat pro wrestling. So tune in each and every Friday, available on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and even on YouTube, you dig? And yo, get some of your merch, man, for real. Some new merch coming soon. Hit the link in the 11:30 podcast bio on Instagram. Follow me on Instagram at the 11:30 podcast _, you guys. Yes, it's February. We highlighting black excellence here on EB Radio and YouTube for the rest of this month. So tune back in. Got great guests coming up next week and the week after, man, for real. I hope you guys stay safe, stay blessed. Give all the glory to God, man. Won't he do it? Yo, it's your man Dre, a.k.a. Dre on Wheels, and I'm out.